It's Johnson and
Yeah.
Johnson, right? We're saving the world. They're doing restructuring, but it's restructuring in a different manner as well, right? And what J&J, Johnson and Johnson, is trying to do or will be doing is splitting the baby powder, which we all know is very, very profitable, right? In terms of their margins, and on one side, and they're creating another company for pharma and medical devices. So effectively, they're splitting that up, whereas previously they were one holdings. And I think that's completely fair, right? I think it should be happening. It's been a little late. I think they should have done it last year when everybody was trying to consolidate, but maybe they will focus on the vaccine, right? And
They can do two things at once.
well, let's hope. And I think with regards to that I just see it as common sense, right? Splitting it up. Baby powder is in a completely different product life cycle stage as by itself, right? With China or clearly wanting to buy a lot of those. Australia is a big one here. Oh, actually, Asia is massive, right? And the US as well in terms of their Johnson & Johnson baby powder. And medical devices and pharma with regards to COVID-19 vaccines or other vaccines that they're trying to create or other pharmaceuticals they're trying to create, which is high initial investment, high research amount, and then getting a effective perpetuity over time. What are your thoughts on the split?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You have, as you said, businesses that are fundamentally different, right? You have a high volume, low margin, consumer products business, and you have, and that's relatively easy. I mean, think about again Unilever, all your FMCG goods. It's so competitive. It's just marketing that wins the day, right? And on the other side, in their pharma and medical devices, they don't really do generics. They do their own research. They try to come up with groundbreaking stuff. All these take money. And of course, if successful, all of these are super high growth. So, I mean, from that perspective, you no longer think about making the cash flows consistent from one to the other. You spin them off. You have separate entities, and you let them focus on what they do best. And if the pharma business dies because they can't create new products fast enough or get patents fast enough, then that's too bad, right? There's no requirement for the consumer business to come in and save them and do all that sort of conglomerate stuff that they should do. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's decent. It's decent.
Yeah, no, fair. But I mean, I'm sure they'll still have a central treasury and all of that to funnel money from one entity to the next, right?
Oh no, I think they're actually splitting off completely, right? Which is why this will take time. So they will have a new company that holds all the consumer products and list that company or sell it to PE or whatever. So it will be completely separate functionally, right? Different management and all of that.
Nice. Okay.
Job creation, right? Very important.
And you were talking about medical devices thing doesn't work, but it's also the same thing, right? Because with baby powder, there were a lot of suits going on. I don't think it was only J&J, but for other companies as well. And we don't want that to impact the medical devices or research or pharma side of things as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, this is a bit of a sidestep, but J&J did something clever in a sense. So they were getting sued everywhere for baby powder, talcum powder, and possible asbestos, and they were losing the suit. So what they did was they said, oh, we have contingent liabilities of a few $100 million, all right, because US lawsuits are insane damages. We put that all into a new company, and we declared that company bankrupt. And you're like, what?
Their lawyers got a big payout.
Yeah, I mean, look, fantastic lawyering, fantastic thinking and structuring, but yeah, come on, man. So look, but they obviously know what they're doing in terms of corporate structuring and splitting off what they want. So I think this will be a decent move in the long run. I'm just not very keen on owning an FMCG business, nor am I very keen on having a pharma business in my portfolio. So yeah, for that reason, this is theoretical. It's nice. It's interesting. I'm not going to buy any of these shares.
No, that's fair. But we are noticing a trend as well, right, Anthony? Like, I mean, we talked about Shell, just next topic now, J&J. We also heard about GE, Toshiba. Why do you think they're all looking at splitting up and sort of divesting or creating the segment?
Oh, that I mean, okay, this is really new. I was there was this article in the Financial Times today actually, that said, oh yeah, this is really just a reflection of what universities are teaching, right?
Okay.
So in the previous generation, so in the 60s and 70s, where Jack Welch and whoever were bringing GE up, the primary mode of thinking was that you want conglomerates, you want big um negatively correlated businesses, so that if one is in a down cycle, the other is in the up, and you make
Upcycle.
consistent profits throughout, right? Recently, at least in the last 10, 20 years, at least when we went to uni, they never taught us that, right? They said,
No.
no, every company needs to have a
Specialized.
specialization. We'll let the market
Yes.
decide. If you fail, you fail, so you don't, right? And I think that's kind of been reflected. And I mean, our generation is not in the boardroom yet, but I think for the people 10, 20 years older than us are, and the fund managers are. So I think there's a and this kind of makes sense to me, right? There is that trend going on that goes, oh yeah, this is what we learned as the technically best way to run a business. Let's just do it this way. Who knows?
Fair enough.
But
So
this sounds
basically,
logically interesting.
yeah. So basically, whatever we learned in school is now being applied lah, when people are
It will
rising
be
up to
applied
the
20
right
years later,
level.
right?
Yeah. Correct, correct. When you get up to the level that you can make these decisions.
Yeah. And I mean, thinking about it again, another step further, you think about your Blackstones, your KKRs. They are private equity, yes, but they also hold so many companies, right? They're essentially a
Mm,
conglomerate as well, functionally, just that they don't use one to offset the other, right? So
mm.
I think it's just a shift in thinking where people used to think that one company's management could do it all, and now it can't, and it's more efficient and better value to break them up, which is why I would as a shareholder of Facebook, sorry, Meta, I would like them to break
Meta.
up Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram as well.
Maybe they will, Maybe they will.
I wouldn't mind, honestly, but yes, topic for another day. Right.